Baylan Skoll is definitely the most interesting and mysterious character of the Ahsoka series, and with every episode we can see that his intentions start to make more and more sense. In a video I made a while ago, I've mentioned Skoll and Hati, the Norse mythology wolves that are chasing the sun and moon. This might be reflected by Baylan and Shin's intentions, and how their goals and purposes might end up being completely different, perhaps radically different. In the second episode of the show, at the reflex point on Cetos, we've seen that Baylan has indeed heard of the pathway to Peridia, from seemingly fairy tale stories told to the younglings at the Jedi Temple. The stories he's referring to is most likely the collection known as the History of the Galaxy, consisting of 3 parts: beginning, middle, and end. Ahsoka and Huyang are talking about these stories in the 6th episode, with Ahsoka preferring the first story of the collection, and I honestly think that these stories are much more important than we actually think. Going back to the 2nd episode, Baylan is asked by Shin about what will happen once they get to Thrawn, to which Baylan replies that for some, war, for others a new beginning, and for us, power. When they eventually get to Peridia, where Thrawn is, Baylan is mentioning the History of the Galaxy stories again when he talks about the planet they're on. He talks about the way history is bound to repeat itself with the Jedi's fall and the Empire's rise to power. However, when Shin asks if their alliance with Thrawn will bring power, Baylan seems to have changed his mind. His answer is now different from the one he gave her in the 2nd episode. He no longer seeks the power he sought. This time he looks for the beginning. And in his words, if those old stories are true, the beginning is on Peridia. Which begs the question, why is Peridia the beginning? Now, I am aware of the fact that Baylan being called by Abeloth theory is all over the internet right now. And although I avoided talking about it because I have a hard time believing Disney will manage to pull off something like this in the last 2 episodes of a live-action series, I still think it can make sense, even though Abeloth is part of Legends, so it's not canon. However, my question is, what if the History of the Galaxy stories are actually the in-universe version of Legends? I know it may sound crazy, but that would be incredibly meta, and actually a great move from Dave Filoni, allowing him to borrow certain parts of Legends and bring them into canon under the form of in-universe tales that might be part of an ancient history bound to repeat again. Hundreds of thousands of years before the Battle of Yavin, Abeloth, as most of you know, used to be the mother and used to serve the father, son and daughter, until she drank from the fountain of power and bathed in the pool of knowledge. That made her become a vicious and vile immortal entity that was feared by even the Mortis gods themselves, so they left her stranded on a world. Throughout Legends, she used to call to Jedi and Sith to make them come and look for her, so she can use them to free herself from that world. Baylan literally says that the great mothers of the Night Sisters are fleeing from a power greater than their own, greater than rising the dead, greater than Thrawn himself. He tells Shin that she was trained to be something more than just a Jedi, and then he says that, quote, "Something calls to me, can't you hear it? Something stirs here, can't you see it?" Maybe Abeloth is the beginning of the History of the Galaxy that is calling to Baylan, looking for a vessel that will free her and finally break this seemingly never-ending cycle. Could Shin be that vessel? Or will she realize the danger and perhaps ally with Ahsoka, Sabine and Ezra? At the same time, this new beginning that Baylan is seeking could be something completely different and new for all of us, but that remains to be seen. I am pretty confident Baylan and Shin will part ways in the next episode and chase their individual and different goals, just as the mythological wolves. But what do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments. As always, may the Force be with you, and bye bye.